It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 240 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens!
More chickens! We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton, but most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too, don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
We've got some hazelnut brewing because we're feeling a little nutty today.
We are feeling a little nutty because it's hot. Now, if you're not drinking this hazelnut coffee, you are missing out. We have a code so you can try it. It's CWTCL 15 for 15% off of bagged coffee. Where should everybody go to get this coffee?
brightandearlycoffee.com.
And if you need cups, go over to Amazon. Now, follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious hazelnut coffee and chat?
I am, but first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. I'm melting.
That's a shame.
Come on, you're supposed to be like, no, my best friend can't melt.
Nah, I'm too hot. I'm too hot to summon up that much energy. I'm just like, okay, bye.
So if you're hot and I'm in trouble, I'm still in trouble. You're not going to help me.
Yeah, we're just a mess. I don't know what to do about that. It's just going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
All day I've been melting. All week I've been melting. We are part of this heat wave right now going on, man. Woo!
Yeah, we have Casper. Casper's our 9-year-old Swedish flower. He's in the basement with his girls because he was really struggling with the heat. And his girls were both trying to be broody. And so one of them, Hyacinth, was really struggling. And so the last couple mornings at very early times, the rooster alarm is going off. It's great.
Kind of have the same issues over here. We were just talking before we started recording. I believe that Polish and Houdans, those kind of really fancy chickens, don't do heat. They do heat even worse than they do cold, honestly.
Well, we were talking about it, and they have a top knot for one thing, and that holds heat in. They don't have much of a comb. They have that tiny V. Not much in the wattle department to disperse heat. So yeah, they need a little TLC.
So little man Mona, little Jackie, and Janie are in the garage with box fans. I have my Houdans in the garage with box fans. There are a lot of provisions being made right now because this heat is terrible and we don't want to lose chickens. Last week's episode, we talked about what to do, and it's time to implement those things. Unfortunately, it's time. But by the time this is playing, hopefully the heat wave will be over for a few days.
I mean, we'll be in July, so it'll be hot. Now, we always talking about having those melons. And a funny little story. On Monday, so 2 days ago, I had surgery for dental implants. And it was sedation surgery, which meant I was giving something lovely and sedating. So I was pretty out of it. But on the way home, I said and I couldn't drive, obviously, so Pete drove me. And I said, honey, can we stop at the grocery store so I can get some watermelons and cantaloupes because it's going to be hot for the next few days? We drive to the grocery store. He says, are you okay to go in? You want me to come in? I said, no, I'm fine. Well, somehow I got the melons, but then I got a whole bunch of other stuff. And I didn't even realize it until the next day when I kept finding all these weird things that I bought.
I heard about the marshmallow fluff.
There was marshmallow
you would never
fluff.
buy.
There was, what was the really weird one?
Potato salad.
Potato salad was a really weird one. I have no memory of putting this in my cart. I can't even imagine what the people around me were thinking. This lady struggling with these 2 giant watermelons and cantaloupe and then just putting random things in the cart. Moral of this story. Even when I'm under sedation, I'm still a chicken lady and I got to get fruit from my chickens.
Yeah, it's that time. The provisions are being put in now, and you got to really watch them. I mean, some days I say this, it's okay if they're in a run to put them out in the morning. If you have stuff to do, to let them do their chicken things all day and then come back in the evening, check on them and see how they're doing if they're in a run now. But these times aren't that. You have to be back. I've been in the heat with them, and it's not good. It's just it's bad.
The problem is that we've had a run of sustained heat and humidity. If you have even 2 days of hot weather, they usually get through it pretty well, especially if you've done these things, electrolytes, blah, blah, blah. We're on day 4.
Yeah,
I mean,
bad.
it has been miserably hot. So, and I'm sure a lot of people in the rest of the country, I think Europe might be in another heat wave right now too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of the race in England. It's kind of like
the Ascot race.
The Ascot on Saturday, and they said it was 85 plus there. So on that note, if you're listening to our show and loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. We love to read them. We'd love to see them. So hit that subscribe button for 2 reasons. You never want to miss an episode, and they count them.
If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken, duck, goose, or turkey-loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show at patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. The other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay! You know what I love when it's 95 degrees outside?
Being inside.
Well, that too, but I really love cleaning my igloo chicken coop.
Yeah, it is so easy to clean. You don't have to break a sweat.
And you can use a water hose or pressure washer, so it doubles as a cool down. I also love those run covers.
Oh man, the shade is superb. I go into the run to cool off.
Yep, my flock's covered during the heat of the day, just chilling.
Meanwhile, we're melting on the patio. Seriously, can we get in on this amazing coop design for ourselves?
They're out there living the dream.
So when it's pushing 100 degrees, the right setup matters.
That's why we choose an igloo.
Get your girls their own just in time for summer.
Search Omelette. That's OMLET.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like monthly subscriptions?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let us take a minute to tell you about Chicken Love.
You get a monthly Chicken Lady tee, treats for your flock, and a keeper care card.
And did you know with every multi-month subscription, you get a free Chicken Love logo t-shirt?
Really?
Yeah.
It's $36 a month with free shipping.
What are you waiting for? Get off the nest and click already. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards. Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. God bless America, my home, sweet Breed Spotlight. It's time for the Breed Spotlight this week. Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were going to have a belted out moment there. Ooh.
Okay, this week's Breed Spotlight is
the Hamburg.
Because guess what? It's 4th of July week, all those fun things for 4th of July. And the one thing that Holly Ann hates?
Fireworks. You can tell me I'm not patriotic until the cows come home, and I do not give a rip. I hate fireworks. I hate what they do to the animals. I hate what they do to people. That being said, you can't tell me that. Well, anyway, that being said.
What? Come on.
Just keep your fireworks away from my farm animals. That's all I'm saying. Let's let this holiday get past nice and peacefully. So.
Have we said we're doing the Hamburg yet?
We did say we're doing the Hamburg, and then I laughed because you did this whole big God Bless America thing, and then it was like the Hamburg, which is like
The Hamburglar.
German via Britain. Yeah. Speaking of which, I had one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life in the UK. When we went to Honest Burger, which is a chain.
Oh, yeah.
But wow, they've got gluten-free everything. In fact, we went there for lunch and we're so stuffed we didn't eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we didn't. We were stuffed. The onion rings and the fries and the burgers are enough to
Those
stuff
onion
us.
rings were to die for. We had good. What cider did we have there?
I can't remember. It might have been the Italian one. We had like all the European ciders, and now I want them, and I can't get them here.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
can't get them. I know.
It's sad because they're so good.
It's even worse in Scotland. They've got all kinds of little artisan cider makers. Anyway, back to the Hamburg. The reason we're doing the Hamburg is because the month of July, we're going to be doing chickens that would have been in early America.
Yes.
Just for some fun. So we're starting with the Hamburg. The Hamburg is a very, very old heritage breed of chicken that, in my humble opinion, should be way more popular than they are.
I think they should be called the Hamburglar.
Hamburglar? You're dating yourself there. I don't know if a lot of our younger audience members will get that. The Hamburglar. The Hamburg are beautiful small-bodied birds that come in gorgeous colors and gorgeous feather patterns, and they are very good layers. It's very likely that the Hamburg would have shown up in early America, where their thriftiness and their regular laying would have made them popular addition to a woman's poultry yard. All 6 color varieties of Hamburg appeared in the first printing of the American Poultry Association Standard of Perfection in 1874 in the Continental class. Now, not the English class, the Continental class.
Oh, yes.
Though these birds do owe much of their beautiful form to English breeders. That's why I said Germany via the UK.
But I did the God Bless America because it's 4th of July week.
Oh, I got it. It had nothing to do with the bird. I see it. I see where you are. Okay. Now, the Hamburg are currently listed in the threatened category of the Livestock Conservancy's conservation priority list. Back in the early days, when we first profiled the Hamburg, so that was back a little over 4 years ago, they were in the watch category, and they have slipped down into the threatened category. So they do need some help.
We have not done this chicken any help. Come on, people. We all need to get the Hamburgs.
They are very high on my list of next chickens to get. I really like them.
They're little and they lay a lot. What more do you want?
Well, I like those feisty, sprightly little ones.
I'm just thinking Andalusians. I'm like, right now I can't do any more feistiness.
No, they're not Mediterranean feisty. They're just active little chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Hamburgs are believed to have come from the Netherlands sometime around 1300, but they've been popular in England for several hundred years as well. It was the Reverend Edmund Dixon, who is one of the earlier poultry historians, who proposed the name Hamburg for them. They are definitely Dutch chickens, but the penciled varieties were exported through the port of Hamburg, Germany, leading Dixon to fasten this name to them. Prior to that, they were very confusingly known by all sorts of regional names. You get a lot of that with older breeds of chicken.
Right.
They were once called pheasant fowl, Yorkshire pheasant fowl, silver pheasant fowl, and my favorite, Moonies.
I like the name Moonies.
Moonies.
That's cool.
Another common name for them in England was the Dutch everlasting layer because they laid well into old age. Although I got to tell you, there are a lot of European birds that have that same name fastened onto them.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the early poultry writers believe that the Hamburgs are related to small birds that originally came from Turkey. And this is very possible. There may be a common ancestor from the area around Turkey that later developed into a bunch of the regional breeds, including the Hamburg, the Buttercup, the Fayumi, and maybe the Campine. They all have that similar look.
They do kind of all look similar.
Now, Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz, wrote his only nonfiction work on the Hamburg chicken in 1886. You can buy a reprint of it on Amazon. Ask me how I know.
Because you probably own it, is my guess.
Yes, I do. Of course I do. Though we think they were present earlier. There's a lot of speculation that they were present earlier than this, but it is definite that the Hamburgs were in the U.S. by the mid-1850s at the very latest, and lots of anecdotal evidence that they were probably here long before.
Right.
They were extremely popular as show chickens in the mid 1800s, and they were such reliable layers that kept them popular as well. But by the 1890s, they had started to lose ground to the Leghorn and the larger dual-purpose Rhode Island Red.
Now, that's kind of crazy because they are smaller, they're excellent layers, and you can have more and get more eggs than the Leghorns.
Here's what I think. So I think if you wanted a small thrifty bird who laid you a lot of eggs, you got Hamburg, right? If you wanted a small thrifty bird that laid you a lot of big eggs, you got Leghorn.
Right.
If you wanted a bigger bird, if you wanted a bigger bird that laid you more eggs that you could use as a table bird, you're going Rhode Island Red. So as humans started to consume more meat, especially in the 20th century, the sizes of most of the livestock went up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely. Now, let's take a look at the way they look. The Hamburg, it's a beautiful light-bodied chicken with a pointed rose comb, small white earlobes, and blue legs. They are so pretty. I
love me some blue-legged chickens. I love them.
One of the things that I've always liked about them, besides the fact that they're going to lay you lots of eggs, is their look. They're really beautiful chickens. Now, they come in 6 color and pattern variations. We got the silver spangled, the silver penciled, the golden spangled, the golden penciled, and the white and the black. So there you go. Any kind of variation you can get. And they're really, really pretty.
The difference between the penciled and the spangled is they're very different looking.
Yeah.
I'm really a sucker for the spangled. I think they're gorgeous.
I like the spangled. I kind of like the golden spangled. They're like the ones I really, really like. Now, here's the thing. Mature hens are weighing in at about 4 pounds. Now, this is just over bantam size, so you get the best of both worlds. You can fit a lot in a coop.
Yeah.
They're going to lay you a lot. They're going to be better in the summer. Roos come in about 5, so even the boys are little. So, yeah. Now, the hens are very good layers of small to medium white eggs. This is where Holly Ann was talking about the difference between the Leghorn and them. The Leghorn lays you big jumbo-size eggs compared to their size.
My silver Leghorn hen does not lay very big eggs, but if you're doing like a white Leghorn like Lucy, you're getting big eggs.
Oh, yeah, really big eggs. And the numbers, here we go. 225 to 250 per year. Excellent layers.
Ain't too shabby. That's a good layer right there.
No, they mature early and they may start laying for a heritage breed around 5 to 6 months. That's early for a heritage breed. They're also known for laying well for several years and not slowing down as quickly with age. So that is a good thing in itself. So they're going to give you longevity. They're going to give you lots of eggs for a longer period of time. Their body's built to do this. So you're probably going to have less health problems with this scenario. And to top it off, they generally don't go broody.
Right now, with 2 broody Langshans, a broody Barnevelder, and a broody Jubilee Orpington, that sounds really good to me.
I know. I have a broody Cochin, and I have to remove her out of the box like 20,000 times
I'm chucking
a day.
people out of the box all day long.
Yep, exactly. Now, some keepers aren't impressed, get this, by the Hamburg's laying because the eggs are on the small size. Really? Boo hiss.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean,
I'm fine with that.
Some of my favorite eggs to eat are the Nankin eggs. I mean, I'm okay with a smaller egg. You just, make them, instead of 2, use 3, whatever.
But they're not a hybrid super layer, so this is a good thing. This is their heritage breed. So they're going to lay consistently over the years, and their body is built to lay these eggs. So you're not artificially making this chicken to do these things. So you're not going to have the health problems that you would have with a hybrid. The medium-sized egg will taste the same.
They're delicious.
If you're baking, you may have to just use an extra egg.
They kind of have double strikes against them. They don't lay a huge egg, and they lay a white egg. I've come to really treasure my white eggs.
At this point in time, honestly, I don't care about the egg color.
Egg in mouth. Don't care about shell.
It's just like, they do look pretty, but I just want healthy chickens. I don't care, egg color. Now, they do have a reputation for being very good foragers, and they don't like too much confinement. So a large run would be great for these chickens.
Absolutely. They are a fantastic addition to a permaculture system. They're great at turning over compost and cleaning up garden beds. They're very active little birds that do need some free range time. And they have a reputation for evading predators. So if you're doing supervised free range and they have a lot of cover, they're probably going to do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of thing. Like, usually the birds that are what I'm doing air quotes flighty means is that they're very good with evading predators. And, you know, that instinct a lot of birds need. You know, they're the prey of a lot of animals.
You hear that reputation for flightiness with a lot of these small birds, but what you're saying is they need to evade predators, and so they need to react fast and they need to take off fast. So yeah, that's a good thing. In my opinion, that's a good thing.
Exactly. But even with that, they're known to be friendly little birds that are going to learn to love you, and you can hug and do all the things.
They're very busy birds on top of being friendly. So I think a bird like this, it's crucial that you handle them a lot as young ones. You do have to put in the time with this kind of a bird to win them over and have affectionate Hamburgs.
Right. I mean, some of them may not like to be handled, but there always is that exception. And the exception comes with handwork. It comes from handling them from day one as much as you can. And Lucy is a prime example. She's a leghorn that acts like a Buff Orpington. So you have to really handle them a lot. And sometimes they react to that. They really do.
Some of them are always going to be like no touchy, no picky up. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be cooperative if you grab them for something medical real quick, you know, because they can trust you because you've handled them. And some of them just want to hang out nearby and don't necessarily like the hugs. We respect that.
That's why we have some other big chickens to hug.
Now, they are reasonably cold hardy for a little bird, but because they are small birds, depending on your coop setup and your region, they may need some supplemental heat in the coldest climates and protection for those rose combs, because that little spike on the end of that rose comb, it's prime real estate for freezing. So be sure to protect that.
The upside is in the heat, they're going to do better. They're smaller. They got the comb size to help regulate the heat. So, but fans.
Absolutely.
Use fans with chickens, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please do it. It helps. Yeah. It helps.
Believe it or not, there are Bantam Hamburgs. These seem to largely be show chickens. I've never seen one in person. They must be very pretty little things.
Oh, yeah, they've got to be beautiful. So here's the part of the show that I ask you, if you have a Hamburg, to send us a story on Instagram, hit the mention button, type in our name, and that way it goes right to our messages and we can reshare your Hamburgs, your Hamburglers. Look it up. It's kind of cool. God.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today. Are we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, happy 4th of July, because, this week is the top vacation week in the United States. It's the top party week of the summer, 4th of July. Now, that means our main topic, we're talking
chickens in Colonial America, because if you want to be a patriot on 4th of July, maybe you should know your American chicken history.
So what we're going to do is kind of a little question and answer.
I thought you were going to quack for a second there. A little question and answer. Wait,
We're not doing ducks. We're not doing ducks.
Doing ducks?
So, with it's the annual 4th of July, and we like to talk about chickens, so we like to talk about them in history. We got a historian here. So I guess how we're going to work this is we have a list of questions and answers. You want to just swap, taking turns.
These are essentially frequently asked questions about chicken history. So,
right, so we'll just swap. We'll just do every other. Let's go. So do you want to start?
Sure. So the big question that we get asked a lot is, how did chickens get to America? Now, chickens, or their wild relative, the jungle fowl, are not native to North America, and they did have to be brought to this land. English, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, and other explorers and settlers brought chickens with them to what they considered this new land. The Jamestown settlers in Virginia, which was the first permanent English settlement in the U.S., they had chickens with them when they arrived in 1607. Also, later supply ships carried more chickens on board. I'm pretty sure including Dominiques that they got from what is modern-day Haiti. So yeah, all the chickens here essentially would have arrived on good old-fashioned ship voyage.
Along with the wool that you carried?
That was a later ship, but yeah. Wool's important, man. Wool.
Okay, so let's go on to question number 2. What breeds, that we get these questions a lot, what breeds of chickens were here in early America? Okay, we have Dominiques, Javas, Dorkings, probably the Sussex, probably the Polish, the Hamburgs, the Nankins, Old English Game, and Pinchons.
Or other bantams. I think there were probably some other, like the rose-cone bantam, maybe, birds like that.
The dunghill fowl or common barnyard mixes were very common too, because you had a lot of people who had farms and their chickens were just like the 60s, free love, man. And they were having fun and they were hatching eggs.
Yes. I had this fantastic booklet about chicken keeping in the mid-Atlantic in the colonial era. And there are so many notes in various correspondences that the researchers have found where people writing back home are like, I'm in Maryland and every farm I go to has over 100 chickens.
Yeah. So the chickens were just like, they
were doing their chicken. Yeah.
Free love, man. Free love.
That's some busy roos.
They were pretty busy.
Okay. This is one of my favorite questions, actually. What did chickens in early America eat? Did they just forage and eat table scraps? Now, this one's interesting. Yes, chickens were out running through the barnyard and eating bugs and greens and anything else they could catch. But chickens did eat grain. In fact, chickens have eaten grain since they were first domesticated from jungle fowl thousands of years ago. Farmers in the colonial region grew oats, corn, wheat, buckwheat, and barley, among other things.
Now, keep in mind that oat's in there. That oat is in there.
Oats were one of the major crops in colonial America.
We've seen that in all the historical places that we visited.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No. So chickens would have gotten the lesser quality grains in winter. Obviously, people would get the superior quality oats and corn. Now, chicks, if they weren't with a broody hen, because some people did buy chicks.
Right.
They would get grains often soaked in milk to soften them. And I guess the milk would give them protein, etc. Apparently it worked, even though we know poultry aren't really equipped for dairy, but okay. The most dedicated chicken keepers would supply their chickens with supplemental corn because corn next to oats was the most plentiful grain in the colonies. The other thing that people would give to their chickens is buckwheat.
Right.
While some people didn't supplement water, you were considered a poor chicken keeper if you didn't supply water for your chickens.
Come on, every living thing needs water.
Absolutely. Now, I thought this was interesting. At the time, buckwheat was believed to increase egg production.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And some farmers also fed their birds daily just to keep them nearby, to keep them around the chicken yard, right?
I mean, we know this. Chickens are smart. We've said it a million times. They do know their boundaries. They do know where to go and not to go. Some do wander, but if they know they're getting fed somewhere, they're going to stay to get that food.
If you're giving me buckwheat and milk every morning, I might hang around too.
You'd want a buckwheat crepe. Who are you kidding?
Oh my God, they're so amazing.
Okay, so here's the
You
next
just sent me straight back to Paris. I'm done. I'm quit. I'm going to Paris.
Okay, here's the next question. Did people in early America keep chickens in coops or runs? Now, for lower income farmers and households, chickens were left to wander, of course, and they would take shelter in stables, outbuildings they liked. Chicken keepers with more money, or those who were serious breeders, definitely had what's called poultry houses. They didn't call them coops. And it's where chickens were kept safe from predators and weather. And as you headed south in the colonies, you found fewer poultry houses, okay? What bedding was traditionally used? Straw, which might have killed a lot of chickens along the way. But
oat straw, wheat straw. Yeah,
that's what they had. Mm-hmm. That's what they had. So, I mean, even back then, they were trying to protect, and we've said this a million times, when it was cold, sometimes they came in and sat in front of the fireplace in the kitchen in a basket. So they were taken care of. They weren't, some did roam and some did not. It's kind of the same today. There were actually
handmade wooden chicken crates, you know, that could be made in different sizes. I've seen them big enough that they could fit 4 or 5 chickens.
Yeah.
And that certainly could have come in a wealthier house where they had a bigger kitchen. They certainly could have brought them in and put them in front of the fire.
Definitely.
Did people in Colonial America just get new chickens every year? We've heard this mentioned to us. People just got new chickens every year. No, this is not true.
I mean, it costs money. Everything costs money. So you wanted your chickens to last.
Some folks may have done this, but it was not a standard practice. Some birds would have gone for table birds, but layers and especially good breeding cockerels would have been kept as long as possible.
Of course.
The common belief at the time was that chickens didn't breed well until they were a full year old. So getting rid of them or eating them just as they reached breeding age would not have made sense. They would not have done this.
No, money was sparse, so they needed to be thrifty.
They were not wasteful with their livestock. No. Now, the common advice, this is especially given to new wives who are setting up their own poultry yard, was to get 1 cockerel and 7 to 10 hens to keep him busy. That's pretty standard now, right?
That's still standard to this day.
Young wives were told not to get too many birds before they figured out their household needs. Otherwise, you would be feeding more chickens than you needed to.
That's still to this day, but we add on the pet aspect and the show aspect.
Right.
And those chickens are pets. So they're not necessarily, you're not feeding them just for the eggs. Some people are, some people aren't. There's different kinds of things. But yeah, it all makes sense.
Well, we have the privilege now of being able to keep our chickens as pets. I mean, there are some societies very early on that did, but in some place like Colonial America, where food was not a guarantee, they were incredibly careful with their birds.
Yeah, so I kind of answered this question already, but did people in early America worry about heat and cold for their chickens? They did. So like I was saying before, they brought them in. You know, they didn't want them in the rain or the bad weather because, listen, it was a money thing. They didn't want to have to buy new chickens every year. So even if they were just protecting their investment, they were still getting protected in a way. That goes with this age-old controversy now with whether or not to heat your chickens or not. Look, way back when, they brought them in.
They did what they could. They worked with what they had. I mean, if you were a breeder in, say, Colonial Virginia, and you were breeding Polish, I guarantee you your best chickens are coming in out of the weather. They're not going to leave that to chance.
No, not at all. So we hope this answered some of your Colonial America questions with chickens.
Our friends at Good Eggs solved the age-old question of how should I wash my eggs?
They're chicken people just like us who created the original silicone egg scrubber.
Both Chrissy and I use their brush and natural enzyme wash every time.
It's a total game changer.
It makes cleaning eggs so much faster and easier, plus they have a lifetime guarantee.
Good Egg is a small family business right here in the U.S., and they donate 10% of all profit directly to folks affected by cancer.
Go check them out at goodeggstuff.co.
That's goodeggstuff.co. Tell them Chrisie&Holly sent you. Are we ready to move on to
cracking the eggs?
Cracking those eggs. Now, this week we are doing a recipe that is by little Ella, my daughter. And Ella made this recipe on Mother's Day, and it was so good. She was so cute. She's 15, and she loves to bake. She takes after her Aunt Holly.
That's my spirit child.
And this is called Ella's Summer Fruit Cobbler, and it came out so good. It was delicious.
And you have a lot of leeway in the fruits that you use for this. You want a 9x13, obviously 9x13 rectangular or a 10x12 inch round baking dish. Either one will work.
She used a round, like a deep dish, like the Pioneer Woman with it was really pretty.
I have some big, heavy white ceramic baking dishes that I use. They're 10-inch rounds, specifically for cobblers because I like the way they bake in there.
Yeah, this one, it came out well. I love how cute she was emailing over her recipe with, the pictures and, what
the photos
she did.
Are good. I'll have the photos up on our recipe page on the website.
Yeah, and what she did with the recipe and this and that. So it's kind of cute. So let's go into the ingredients because there's quite a few. The fruit, you're going to need 5 large or 6 to 7 medium ripe and juicy peaches, apricots, nectarines, or other summer fruits of choice. Now, these are the ones that she used. She was all in. She had to go to the grocery store and get everything. You want to have them peeled, pitted, and cut in chunks or slices.
You know what? You could throw mango in there right now.
Yeah, you could. I mean, this is one where you can do what you want because that's what she did. She did what she liked. I myself
would probably do this as a mango blueberry.
She used peaches and nectarines. And this is the thing from Ella. The 2.5 cups of raspberry or any other berry, fresh or frozen, divided into a 1/2 cup and 2 cups. She uses the raspberry because she likes a bit of tart. And that's why she uses the raspberry. And she says that all the time. She's like, Mom, you need to have a bit of tart in with your sweet. So
it does. Yes. It lifts up a recipe to have a little bit of tartness in there. Yeah.
So 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. I'm just going to go through all of the ingredients now, and then you can just go in. Yep. So the cobbler, you're going to need 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, 1 lemon zested, 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, 3 large eggs at room temperature, a half a cup of full-fat Greek yogurt, or the Sky, or is it
Skyr?
Skyr, okay.
Or Icelandic yogurt, Icelandic Skyr.
Oh, now we're going to have everything Icelandic. Joe's teasing me now saying I'm British, and I'm like, no, wait, Holly Ann's going to be Icelandic.
I'm going Icelandic, especially when it's this hot. I'm like, Iceland is the only place on this earth I want to go right now.
Or dairy-free equivalent. But no, you need that Icelandic yogurt in there. Don't forget that.
You can get it at the Walmart. Walmart sells Icelandic Skyr.
3/4 cups or 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter softened to room temperature, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Make sure it's from Mexico because that's the best kind. No, I'm just joking. Any kind will do. 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. I love this little girl. She has all this stuff down. Now the streusel. This might be the longest group of ingredients I've ever done.
It's a longie.
4 tablespoons or a half a stick of butter or non-dairy softened to room temperature, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a generous pinch of fine sea salt, 1/3 cup of rolled oats, 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, and 1/4 cup of the turbinado sugar, because that stuff's good. It's good.
You're going to preheat your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to put your peaches or whatever other fruit, along with 2 cups of the berries, into your baking dish, and you're going to toss it with 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Set that dish aside. In a medium mixing bowl, you're going to stir together the sugar and the lemon zest. You're going to add the flour, the baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and whisk it to combine. Add the butter, the Skyr or other yogurt, the eggs, the vanilla, and the almond extract. You're going to use a hand mixer or a stand mixer. You're going to mix on low until everything's just combined, then turn it up to medium-high speed for about 30 seconds. Scrape down the sides of the bottom of the bowl, give it another stir so everything's together, and set that bowl aside. In yet another medium bowl, you're going to stir together the softened butter, the vanilla, the sugar, and the salt. Add the flour and the oats to this. Use your wooden spoon, stir in the butter mixture, into the dry ingredients until all of it has been fully mixed in and it's pretty like homogenized looking. Now you're going to do a quick assembly. You're going to use the wooden spoon you just used for the streusel, or if you like to be neater than that, you can use an ice cream scoop, and you're going to dollop the batter over top of the fruit. Cover as much of it as possible, but don't worry if there are some gaps.
Yeah.
Then you're going to grab that streusel and sprinkle it over top of the cobbler. Now, you have that remaining half cup of raspberries and the turbinado sugar. So you can arrange them on the top of the tart in a way that looks pretty, or you can arrange it your way. Ella did a couple of the peach slices on the top and then the raspberries around the outside. Looks very pretty. Do whatever works for you. You're going to bake that baby for 30 minutes or until the fruit is bubbling and the batter is golden brown. It can be up to as much as 5 or 10 minutes longer or shorter, depending on your baking dish. So
And your oven.
Yeah, so check it frequently. Once it's finished, take it out of the oven and leave it to cool for at least 10 minutes before serving so you don't burn your mouth off. Serve it with some vanilla ice cream, some whipped cream, or even some custard sauce, and enjoy it.
Enjoy. It was so good, and it was so cute because she made it for Mother's Day, and I was like, oh, you did such a good job. We're going to have to showcase this one. The girl can bake. Today, she baked banana chocolate chip bread. It smelled the whole house up.
I wish I could eat banana chocolate chip bread. For the next 2 weeks, I can only eat very soft things that don't require chewing because of my dental implants.
Maybe that's why you got the potatoes.
Well, that's a weird choice. I don't know. Again, I love potato salad. I just literally have no memory of how it or the applesauce or the marshmallow fluff got into my cart. Just
But
none.
again, the applesauce would be soft like you were thinking to
Apparently,
eat.
I had the presence of mind to pick up soft things, but I just don't have any memory of doing it. I got pistachio ice cream too, and then put it in the fridge instead of the freezer. It was nice and soft. I enjoyed it.
You need Ella to make you some cobbler with some vanilla ice cream.
Delicious.
So try it. You might like it. Let us know what you think. And go on our website and look at the pictures of Ella's. I'm so proud of that little girl. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're looking at 4th of July
Poultry
tees
t-shirts.
with chickens and poultry on them. Now, how much fun can that be?
And the whole reason this came up is because Metzer Farms is selling this really cute 4th of July duck t-shirt.
Katie, if you're listening, we want some.
Well, I gotta say, Katie's been amazing. She has been texting me and holding my hand through this whole duckling thing.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, I haven't needed any major help, but it has been wonderful to know that the Metzers are around if I had any questions. And that goes for everyone. You know, you can call customer service if you have a problem.
So the t-shirts that are out there that are for this holiday there's a plethora, let me tell you.
There's a ton.
There might be more of the patriotic 4th of July tees than there are chicken tees.
There might be. I mean, everything from the silhouette of a chicken with the flag behind it to
the fireworks. They're
sorry,
everywhere.
not sorry.
I can never show you anything on my phone because my laptop.
The lighting's bad, I know.
So Etsy, I just saw one for $2.88 on Etsy, man.
What? That's a hot sale.
That is a hot sale. So it's chickens with fireworks. You can get a sweatshirt. You can get a t-shirt, different colors. All you have to do is Google 4th of July poultry tees or chicken tees, and you have your choice of all. Now, I thought I saw that Chicken Love. I thought Andrea over there at Chicken Love had a 4th of July one for July also. So check that out on Chicken Love.
She's had at least one that had red, white, and blue and chicken stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Memorial Day or 4th of July, but whatever. They kind of both work, right?
I thought I saw on her social that she had one coming out for the 4th of July, which is great. This one is cool. It's the American flag, and it has a rooster wearing aviators, a big rooster wearing aviators, and it says America.
Oh, my lordy, look at that.
There are so many.
I just found the cutest goose 4th of July t-shirt. Oh my God. It's 4 geese. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, well, I can see yours, but that's cool. As a hot dog, one's a hot dog.
So there's a goose in military fatigues. There's a goose wearing a hot dog. There's a goose dressed like Uncle Sam with a sparkler. And then there's a Statue of Liberty goose. I love it. It's so cute.
Oh, we also have Metzer Farms. If you want their 4th of July tees, they're on their website, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they
you
are.
Go over there and check those out for the waterfowl. But, oh my God, there's so many of them. Like, so many. It's great.
Here's another goose one on TeePublic. This is a... It's 4 geese again. They'll have boots on because, that's what you do. One of them has a ball cap. The other 3 have like red, white, and blue striped Uncle Sam hats. There's one with an ice cream, one with a flag, one with an ice cream, and one with a hot dog. Somebody needs to tell these people that geese are vegetarians. They're not eating hot dogs.
Well, they have the ones with the chickens too, with the hats and everything.
Same one, yeah.
But they don't have the hot dog, which that would be a good one because the chickens eat the hot dogs.
Chickens will eat hot dogs, absolutely.
Here's another thing. If you have, chicken... Oh, that's cute. If you have patriotic 4th of July tees, tag us in your story. We want to see you wearing them. We want to see this. It's 4th of July. We want to see you, out there with your chicken tees, the Uncle Sam tees. They're so cute.
Oh my
God, there's so many.
Fun. These are so much fun.
They're so much fun. That's what I'm going to get Pete for Christmas. And Goose, 4th of July. That'll be funny. Be like, Pete, this is what we're getting Pete for Christmas. A goose.
This one says red, white, and goose.
I sent you a reel with these Sebastopol geese that were bullying a pig. And it was this huge hog. And the mom comes out and she's like, they're a horrible gang. And like, she chases the geese away from the poor big pig. I was like, that is horrible.
Man.
She's like, they're horrible.
Well, I will say that they can be relentless. Every day Mirabelle has to run up to the Nankins and hiss at them. It's a daily thing.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Got to do what you got to do.
Okay, so should we tell Reddy what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, since we're doing early American chickens, next week we're going to talk about a special breed and one that's really rare. We're doing the Java.
I mean, and it's like a coffee too. So yeah, we're doing the Java.
Main topic, our bestie Fiona is joining us. And we're going to be talking about all things broody. You got broodies you want to break. You got broodies you want to hatch. All things broody. If it's broody, we're talking about it.
We are.
Cracking the eggs. Oh, yes. Mango custard ice cream.
Our favorite ice cream.
And retail therapy, we're talking about shades and blinds for your chicken runs for some shade.
Because you need them right now, so where to go? Okay, we got you covered with that. Until then, what should we start ready to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese. And turkeys.
Every day. And kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.